2023 EICMA is when we first unveiled the vision for the F99 concept.
Everyone came and asked us, hey, which country is this motorcycle from? And they were in disbelief that something so gorgeous has come out of India.
When we showcased the concept in 2023, we did have some functional parts of the motorcycle. We knew it's a long way ahead.
Don't forget to kind of develop a product that is capable of high speeds. The kind of demands increase exponentially on everything, whether it's suspension, chassis, braking, powertrain. There's no real time frame, but I don't think it's months, it's definitely years.
We had in fact spoken about it hitting the roads in 2025. And that's what we had announced at EICMA.
Ultraviolette is going after a speed record for the fastest quarter mile set by an Indian motorcycle in the next 90 days or so.
I don't think we had enough time. We knew that we had to create a superbike, and there are no benchmarks in India that we can actually get drive cycles from. Our engineers watched a lot of MotoGP races, used YouTube data, wrote a script, derived the velocity versus time graph, and then back calculated the voltage, current versus time, which is essentially giving us what should the battery capacity, what should the battery power be, what should drivetrain be.
So Vinayak tells me for this kind of performance, we cannot use any of the current systems. We need to build a 400 volt battery architecture. Man, this sounds like a killer challenge to take up. Assembling all of this together, validating it on a tabletop, this itself is a few months of R&D.
Companies take over years to develop a 400 volt architecture. We actually had only 3 months.
And to get it right in one attempt seemed pretty outrageous.
And now the stakes are much higher. 90 to 100 kilowatts or 120 horsepower, all available in 10 milliseconds. That's like 10 times faster than blinking an eye. The F77 can pull 2 trucks. The F99 can dock a ship. To make an electric motorcycle, you would obviously need a battery pack, a motor, a chassis, the suspension, tires, brakes, all of the proprietary parts, and a skin that can actually be on top of all of these parts. You have your body panels and your thermal management systems. If you want to cut through air at 200 kilometers per hour, you need to be efficient at it. You can't really take like this giant sailboat and then push against the wind. You need to be like a streamlined bullet that is going fast. That's what makes you efficient.
We have to integrate all of these parts onto our chassis, and the chassis is in-house design. The end goal isn't just going drag racing, but in due time we will go GP racing. When you're going out to build something that no one's ever done in India, your nuts and bolts have to line up.
That whole bench where it had parts lying everywhere was coming together to make it into a beautiful looking motorcycle. We were standing there clapping at the battery pack getting integrated into the chassis for the first time, and we turn the key on. Everybody is waiting for that wheel to spin. And it just doesn't work. It's just so up. We had evaluated it several times, again and again. At this point, we had a slight sense that it could be EMI, AMC, or what we call black magic. You must have seen Batman movies where he basically fires an EMP gun and then everything around him blacks out. That's basically what was happening. The moment the vehicle turns on, there is this blast of radiation that essentially shuts down all the systems. Everything just stops. Everything just doesn't work. Whatever progress we had made in putting the vehicle together, we now go one step at a time in reversing this whole thing. The solution was to add lot of filters, lot of isolation, changes done on the PCB level. The team went all in. The team literally stayed up 20-21 hours in a day. The next part that actually was due was to make the vehicle run on a chassis dyno, where you give the power and the speed, and then you check whether it's delivering what you set it out for. And the bike was running. Now the wheel started to rotate. Now I was able to give throttle. Now we are able to hear everything that's going on.
That's where the engineers get ambitious and everybody's gunning the motorcycle on the dynamometer. And all of that 90 kilowatts of peak power, the 120 horses, all goes to the wheel in one single instant. In some of those instances, the entire gearbox, parts of it started to melt away.
I got a phone call. Abhinav, the event has to be pulled forward due to unavailability of the venue. And I was like, okay, by how much? A day or two? They said 2 weeks.
And I'm just holding this message and I'm like, my life, it keeps getting harder and harder every day. You got one shot, you got one vehicle, and you got to make that work.
Sometimes in races you get a DNS, did not start. Would that be worse than failing if you don't even turn up?
I'm somebody who doesn't accept defeat till the last moment, till the very last second. I think we were naive and bold that we could try to make it happen.
Because of the complexity of the motor itself and the phases that it has, and we're dealing with 400 volts, and getting all of that to speak to each other fluently is hours of code, hours of tweaking the controller. Timelines crunched so much, we were like, okay, it broke, back to the drawing board.
So after breaking a couple of gearboxes, we finally managed to tune the systems just right. And the next phase is exciting. The tire meets tarmac. We've been waiting from such a long time.
I see chassis, I see components. The bodywork I hadn't really seen except maybe once laying on the floor. My heart was racing until I saw the bike. And when I saw the bike, it just dropped. We did that. I hit 170 kph for the first time on the motorcycle on my first run. And that's how confidence-inspiring the machine was.
We are serious players and we are here to be.
We're not here to take risks. We're here to make risks disappear.
India is actually going to push innovation forward in this electric age.
So whoever turns up can benefit from that experience that we're trying to offer. In this case, the fastest Indian is damn nice.
I think drag racing is what I call T20 or IPL of motorsport. It's quick, instant gratification. There's no other form of motorsport which is as exciting or thrilling because you just get a winner in 10 to 15 seconds. And the beauty about drag racing is that it's something which anyone can take part in.
So on the day of the event, whether it's road tires, whether it's wind conditions, etc., didn't really matter.
That started to become material that we may not even run.